On guys, just got the fire going in the shop here, and today we're gonna be my JDM GSR. So you can see right there, B18C. Here, one sec. So first things first, sorry about that, I had to wait for the furnace fan to turn back off. So first thing first is I'm gonna set it to dot dead center, and then I'm gonna start pulling it apart, pull the alternator off and intake manifold, distributor, and all that stuff, and then we'll get the head off, and then we'll see what kind of shape the bottom ends in, and see if I want to use this GSR block or use one of my B18 B1 blocks. So we'll get right to it. So we got the intake manifold off and alternator, crank pulley, some other stuff here. Here's the intake manifold. Got the thermal gasket. So next, distributor, and we'll get the valve cover taken off. Then we'll actually loosen this tensioner, get the timing belt off, and take the cams out, and we'll get the head off this block. So we just got the cams pulled out. As you can see, there's some slight wear on the journals. Nothing too serious. I think that I'm just gonna be able to slap it back together and call her good. My bro just walked in the door. What's up? So we got the head off. I was been thinking, we were talking, I think I'm gonna set this block aside and save it for if I ever go back to NA. But I plan on using my B18 B1 block and my GSR head, and I'm gonna make it LSV Tech Turbo because I got aftermarket rods and bearings and such for LS. So, and I think that that's going to be the best option, and it will keep my GSR block intact for if I ever do plan on going back to NA. What's going on, guys? So today I'm going to be installing my nipping pistons on my Eagle rods. I was going to use stock pistons, but then I realized that you cannot use press fit wrist pins with Eagle rods because the wrist pins will just slide right out. So I went ahead and ordered up some low compression 81mm nipping racing pistons with floating wrist pins, and I'll show you how to install these retaining C-clips on the pistons. So just give me 1 second, I'll get set up over there and I'll show you how to do that, because I was having troubles with this first one. But I watched the video and I learned how to do it, so I'll show you guys to make it a little easier. Okay, see that groove in there? That's what we are going to be putting the wrist pin in, or the C-clip. You want to spread it apart with your fingertip like so, and you get it put down into that groove. Then you grab your screwdriver, kind of work it around a little bit, and when you get it to where you can't go anymore, you hold it there and you pull the opposing side, and that will make it so you can press it in the rest of the way. You just kind of work around. It is pretty hard to do, but
oh, that's what he did. Pete Gates offer.
you just keep pulling. You can work it in with your fingers and screwdriver.
To get my Milwaukee over here again. Here's what that on.
One sec. There we go. There, and just like that, you have your C-clip in your piston. So, and you just do the same for the other side. All right, we got all the new nipping pistons on the Eagle rods, and I'm just gonna reuse my rings because they have the same clearances and they're the same bore, and I already have them gapped. I'll show you my gap specs. So on the top ring we have 23 thousandths and 27 thousandths on the second ring. I'm not doing the oil rings just because it doesn't matter that much, and it is within the service limit. This I got off of All Data, so you can kind of see the specs I used right there. And I did use the piston ring gap multiplier online, and it came out to be 22 thousandths. So 23 thousandths is going to be perfect. A little bit looser is no big deal. Better have it a little loose than tight. And I'm just going to get those switched over and then get these pistons put back in my block. So let's go. I'll time lapse this for you guys. So got the bottom end completely assembled, and I put the new valve stem seals in my head. So, but I am out of brake cleaner, so I need to get some more brake clean to clean out the head before I put it on the engine. So I think that that's some pretty good progress today, and I'll be back here later this week to get the rest of the engine back together. So I'm getting more excited every time I come here to work on it. So yeah. There we are. I'll pick up here in a few days. Just got her going. She is getting warmed up in here so I can use my hands. And so we got the motor together. As you can see, I didn't film quite a bit for a little bit, so I have some progress that I've done off camera. So it's a LSV Tech now. Got Eagle rods and nipping pistons, low compression pistons, ARP headsteads, ACL race bearings, Cometic head gasket, OEM Honda valve seals, and reseated the valves. You can see the LSV Tech conversion kit here. And then the oil feed line to the GT35 82 eBay, cheapest of the cheap. And anti-surge. Got the SPA top mount turbo manifold. Turbo so big that I had to barely any room to make the oil feed, so I got that snake down and around and going into this bung. So I got it ready to pretty well drop in the car, just waiting on my clutch kit. So, and here we are at the car. As you can see, I've been doing some body work to the engine bay. I welded a bunch of holes shut on the rad support, filled that big hole, as well as this one. As you can see right here, there's still metal behind it all, so everything's actually metal. And that filled where my control arms were smashing up through the strut towers, and I tucked my brake lines, made new lines for just the front here. Everything else is stock. I was able to bend it down out of the way where I was pleased with it, so all I have to do is cut off all these extra nubs I have and sand it all down and get ready to paint it, I guess. It's been about a week since I filmed that last clip, and I was editing the video and I realized that I didn't film an outro, so I'm here now, and I actually just got the clutch in, so I'm going to show you guys what I went with. So I'll open it up. XTD. We went with the stage 5. So we have no springs. And online in the description it said that it was rated for 600 horsepower. I doubt it, but I'm not going to push it that far right now. Came with a new throat bearing and input shaft bearing. As you can see, this inner part kind of is off to this side. So there's that. And the clutch alignment tool came broken. I don't think that's XTD's fault. I think that it just got banged around in shipping. But yeah, that's what I went with. It was cheap. And I'm doing this on a budget. So in the next video you can expect to see some work being done to the engine bay and painting the engine bay, so we can get the engine in and get it back together and running. So with that being said, like and subscribe and stay tuned for the more videos to come with this build and everything else in the future. Have a good one.